Welcome to another episode. We made it.
We did. We're on a roll.
We are. We're working hard for the money. No, we're working easy for the money, which is what we're going to learn today.
Yes.
As promised, the podcast, as promised previously, we are going to talk about mental patterns and the symptoms that can result from the mental patterns. So the words we speak, the thoughts we think, and the ones you have over and over truly create something. Like every time you say something, every time you think something, it has a meaning. It has a feeling attached to it. And the more times you think it, the greater impact it has on your body, and your body's always listening. So like imagine whispering to a child all day, like, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly, your eyes are fat, your butt's too big, your hair is ugly, you're never gonna be anything. If you whisper it over and over and over and over and over every day, what's gonna happen to the kid eventually? He's going to start believing it, and it's going to become a part of his or her reality. And that is the same with how your body works. And we can kind of attest to that from personal experience, which is how we got here. So this is all based on the queen herself, Miss Louise Hay, and her original book, Heal Your Body. It was called The Little Blue Book when it came out. It is truly an amazing, she's showing it. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see it. We'll also put a link under this. So if you'd like to use our affiliate link, you can totally use that as well and grab yourself a copy. It's not an expensive book. I believe it's like $7.99 right now on Amazon. So it's definitely worth it. We have several. So Louise Hay is a metaphysical healer, teacher, speaker. She's no longer with us. She passed away at, I believe, 90 or 91 years old in her sleep. And I believe that was just a few years ago. So no longer than 5 or 7 years ago did she leave us. But her work, it resonates and resides and stands the test of time. So this book goes into every symptom that she has seen her clients experience, whether it's headaches or body aches or foot pain or hip pain or whatever you can think about. And she started noticing that with a specific symptom came a specific thought pattern, that all of the people that had this symptom all felt and thought about themselves in a specific way. And she, through her study, started learning that using affirmations to counteract those thoughts and those feelings, you can truly start to heal your body as if you're reprogramming the cells in your body. So if your cells in your body for however many years you've been saying, however old you are, if for 30 years, for 40 years, for 50, 60, 70 years, you've been telling your cells, whether in your thoughts or in your feelings or verbally out loud, oh, I'm never going to fit into that. I'm too fat. I'm too fat. I look in the mirror. I'm too fat. I'm too fat. I'm too fat. He doesn't like me. I'm too fat. Your cells have been programmed to hear, I'm too fat. And once you start reining in those thoughts that now run free like a stallion, because you've thought them so often that it's like a racetrack of stallions now. They just know to run there. They just know to think that way. So it is work to do this affirmation works to start training those thoughts to be the thoughts you wish to experience and see in your life. And it takes, we can tell for persons, it takes a lot of work. But she found that if you truly put in the work of doing this affirmation work and mirror work, that you can heal your body by rewiring and retraining your brain. And the cool part is she did this, I believe, in the early 70s, at the peak of the HIV epidemic. And her work is now, which is amazing, kind of showing up in epigenetics. It's showing up in quantum physics. It's showing that our thoughts are related to areas of our body. science is starting to see that we're not just a car where if you fix the tire, it's fine, that there's a connection between the mind and the body, and it's intricate. And it's not just about taking something out and fixing it like you do with a car part. It's about seeing the signals that are being sent from the brain, from the heart, and from those gut feelings and what they become. What do you think, Tara? What's been your experience since I introduced you to Louise Hay and this affirmation mirror work rewiring of your brain?
It's definitely been so. I've discovered mirror work several years ago, from different avenues in the spiritual world, and it's very interesting, um, how that works by itself. But when you introduce Louise Hay, when you put all of it together, I say it hits differently. It's like you're almost staring into the depths of your own soul, healing yourself, as opposed to just saying words, because sometimes that's what it starts out to believe, to be, but before you believe it. Um, but it really does. It's amazing how the affirmations or the inclusions about what could be blocking you, really does go along with that symptom. It's like you can't make it up when you think about it, because it is a universal thought pattern. Um, it doesn't matter how we got it or whatever the case, it's there. And whoever has these symptoms tend to have the same exact thought patterns, and it's unbelievable. And the affirmations are beautiful, just to definitely help get you along the path. And even Louise Hay says it's just one tiny part of the solution. It's one part of, the healing process. It's not like you can just go, okay, I have this, and I'll say this affirmation and that's going to heal me for everything. No, there's so much more work that goes along with it. Like you said, the mirror work that's involved, which she also has a book on that too. And, with other different modalities, but just this alone is powerful. Imagine what it can do when combined with other, um, healing modalities. It's very, very interesting. I love Louise Hay.
Yes. And like you said, it's not the whole package, but it is one of the tools to help you in your healing process, and is one of the tools that she actually had to use on herself throughout this journey. She actually got diagnosed with that vaginal cancer, and she was like, this is the time to put in all my teachings and show that it can work. And it's a combination. It's one of the tools. It's changing your thought patterns, but also changing not just what you feed your brain, what you feed your body, what you're watching on TV, what you're surrounding yourself with. It's all about energy work, and connecting to something higher, and knowing that you have the power, as opposed to being a victim of this happened to me.
Absolutely.
Um,
It's more everything happens for me now as opposed to it happening to me. You start to change your mindset based on a lot of little things that you wouldn't have even correlated with a toothache, or or cancer, going from as tiny as a toothache to as big as cancer, and going, this is the thought pattern behind that. Like, I've been saying this for years, like you had said before, like, no wonder why it's manifested into something so large. It went from a toothache to cancer. So it does become very clear how, you do it to yourself, essentially. We look so quick to blame other people in outside situations where that's the happen to us aspect. But when you see it happens for us, you go, okay, so our body is telling us, it's giving us the answer. We
your
just have to,
body's talking to you.
yes, you're learning the language, and that's what it comes down to. It's very interesting, and it's difficult to navigate it, but once you start to understand it, and this book helps so much, like, it literally, it's with me at all times. There's even an Audible version you can get down on Amazon that I also have on my phone. If for whatever reason I don't have my book with me, it's there.
It's with you.
It's with me all the time.
And as you said, we're quick to want to look for a reason to blame it or be a victim, but this isn't this. Knowing this information, it's also not about blaming yourself. It's not about I did this to myself because I thought so much. That's
Right.
not about it. It's about truly getting under the cause of it. It doesn't matter how it arrived. It's not to blame anyone, whether it's external or internal. It's whether it's something in your past, or it's something within you, or it's something externally. It's about truly finding the bottom of the wound so you can truly clean it out and let it heal perfectly from the inside out, as opposed to always looking for an answer. It's not about looking for an answer. It's truly just getting to the bottom, healing, and changing the way you speak to yourself and to life, and almost changing your perception on life and how life works.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And um it it gives you, I want to say, hope, essentially, as opposed to going, well, this is it. This is what I have, and that's it, and there's nothing that can be done about it. And it really does put it all into your own hands, because there's
Yeah.
anything you can do about it. You're the only one who can do. I mean, you can have doctors and all these, and not to say that not to go to them, and medicine, it does help. It's also part of it.
That's part of the toolbox.
Exactly. Like, they're there for a reason. We're not saying don't go to doctors and just say these affirmations. The affirmation in the book is more like the antibiotic once you clean out the wound. It's not like that's just going to help. Like, that's just going to kind of help keep it out, because now you're aware of what it is. You've already had the surgery. So now it's just a matter of like, okay, I have to do the surgery. And this is a really big, willingness to want to get down to the bottom of it. Like you said, it's not just grazing over it and accepting it, and it's just, it is what it is. It's like, okay, you know what, I want different. I want to be healed. I want to be better. I want to be the best version of myself for this lifetime that I have, so that I can do the things that I came here to do.
Yeah.
So
And stepping out of the victim role and truly taking your power back. You are now no longer the victim in the story. You're not the damsel in distress. You are now the superhero.
absolutely.
And you are taking your power back, and you are learning to manipulate your own magic with the power of your thoughts. And we kind of
So
use
simple.
so simple. It sounds so simple, but then when you start the work, you're like, oh, fucking shit, what did I just do? This is not, I mean, even when you start mirror work, and whoever's listening, all of you listening, I recommend, if you've never done mirror work, it sounds simple AF, but it's not. I want you to try putting on a timer for 60 seconds to 120 seconds. That's 1 to 2 minutes to start. And I want you to look yourself in the mirror, and I want you to tell yourself that you love yourself, that you're beautiful, and that you're worthy. And I want you to repeat that. And it's going to be so difficult in the beginning, because automatically your mind goes to, oh my God, is that a wrinkle? Is that a pimple? Oh my God, is that new? Oh my God, like, my hair doesn't look good. Your brain goes to all these places. Or this is stupid. Why am I wasting my time? This is such bullshit. This is never going to do anything. The ego is literally yelling at you to run away. And that's where the work is. That's where you rewire it. So I know it sounds so simple. You want me to just look in the mirror and tell myself, no problem. I can do that for an hour. It's like, put on that 120-second timer and see how hard it is to rein in your thoughts, because they're truly like this wild stallion that's like, oh my God, my hair, my eyebrows, and my eyelashes, and reining it in to just keep saying, I love you, you are beautiful, you are worthy. And it sounds simple. Leave us a comment and let us know how that went.
And if you want to level up that challenge, do it naked. Stand in front of the mirror naked.
Full-size mirror naked.
Full-size mirror naked, and do that for 60 seconds and see what you can come up with yourself, other than what you're supposed to be telling yourself.
Yes. And work your way up to 20 to 30 minutes. Because wouldn't you want somebody outside of you, an external factor, to look at you and be like, oh my gosh, she is so fun. She is so beautiful. She is so smart. She is so this. You want that from other people, but it comes from you. And it's not easy as it sounds. So try it and leave us a comment. And we can't wait to hear your journey.
So excited. So excited to hear how that goes.
So yeah, so we, like we said, we use this book to, and we continue to use these affirmations to heal our thought patterns. So anytime any symptoms arise for us, even if it's like, I stub my toe, I look up toe in the book, and I look up why did my energy allow that energy to come right now and hit my toe? Why my big toe? Why not my heel? Why not my shin? Specifically my toe. And then I look into that thought pattern. I repeat the affirmation because the book does come with sample affirmations that you can use. And I look into my life of where is that thought pattern, and I go balls to the wall with my affirmation. I write it over and over in my journal. I usually make some sort of screensaver for my phone, and it's my background, because I don't know if you know this, but your subconscious mind is always listening, whether you pay attention or not. So the images you see, your subconscious mind has already read it, put it in the back of your head, and it's just a sponge. It doesn't decipher, it doesn't criticize, it doesn't judge, it just accepts, and it's just there. So think about how many times you see words and images, but your subconscious mind is just absorbing them. So if you can have those affirmations written on your phone screen, on your wall, on your mirror, the more times your subconscious mind, it's like always watering the seed. How many seeds can you plant? The more times you plant the seed, no matter how tiny or how big, it is all helping this garden that you're trying to grow. Oh, and before we continue, a big factor of these affirmations is that they have to always start with
I.
I am, and they have to be in the present tense. So the example I usually give is, I have a lot of women that come and they say, I really want to lose weight. That's my affirmation. I really want to lose weight, which I get it. It's however, the universe doesn't work like that. You have to say it as if it's in present tense. So when you speak to the universe, it takes you very literally. So when you say, I want to lose weight, it's like, want weight? Here you go. And that's typically the people that struggle with getting to their body's best weight. Um, so an affirmation would have to be something like, I am in my perfect body and I am happy with my body. I feel great in my body. My body is the perfect size. It has to be in present tense and specific with wording where the universe cannot extract any word and manipulate it. My body is perfect. So the universe will hear perfect and you get the perfect body. I love my body. And then you will slowly learn to love your body. Yeah, so
In
it's
doing it too, sometimes though, yeah, fake it till you make it.
absolutely.
Just remember that when starting out their words, right? So whether or not you believe it at that moment when you're initially starting it, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Think about all the stuff that you hear on a daily basis that's negative and that you constantly repeat to yourself. So why not say positive things? So, I am the weight that I desire to be. I am the perfect weight. I am whatever. I
I don't
am
like the word weight, but
weight.
know.
Well, that's where everything goes, because now it's weighing you down. Like so now it's trying to find the words to switch. So if you have a thesaurus, I would suggest pulling one out,
Or
because
just get the book. It's a great place to
it
start.
is a great place to start. But now, if you when you start, like, so on this journey, as you're going along, again, let's go back to the whole believing it first. So if you don't believe it, fake it till you make it. And then
This,
once you start
yes, you're
believing
never going to
it,
believe it in the beginning.
yeah, and it's going to be whatever the I am statement that it is that you're saying. Sometimes it's harder to believe it than others, especially when it comes to big things like being worthy and loved and all that fun stuff. So when you're trying to break a mental pattern, just say it, because eventually the words becomes the vibration, and then that's going to fuel it. So if you're just saying things, the universe is hearing, oh, I am loved. Okay, that's good. Yes, you are. Here you go.
Yes.
So when you start to say it and then you start to believe it, it almost amplifies the power. It just becomes bigger and bigger, and then you have no choice but to receive it because you're already in the vortex. Um, and then the other aspect of it is, once you start going along, you you realize all the negative things that you're saying and all the words that don't seem so positive, that you want to start changing. And that's when I say grab the thesaurus, because you're going to start looking for, okay, what's the antonym to this word that I need to change, and how do I structure my sentence now, and how do I put this together? You're going to start being very, very aware of the conversations that you're having with yourself out loud and to other people. So it's just a matter of, it's a fun game almost. At the end of the day, it's like, oh, okay, what's today's new affirmations or creations that I'm going to make today, and then watch your life start to change.
Yes. And
Very,
I like to use the visual description of that is like if you've ever driven home in the snow, it's almost like you follow the tracks to get. If it's a lot of snow, you follow the tracks. So if you think about your thought patterns, you've created the tracks of your brain, and the track patterns of the snow are there, and it's easy road to get there, and it's easy, and you've been doing it for years and years, and you know the route, and you could probably do it blindfolded and backwards and, in your sleep and upside down. This saying the affirmations and quote unquote faking it till you make it is starting to get off that trail of that snow and starting to make a new path in the direction that you want to go. And it's not going to be easy. Your tires might get stuck. They might not want to go down the road. It might be a little slippery. You might want to go back to the road that you are comfortable with because you've been driving that way for so long. This is about changing the synaptic patterns in your brain, just like changing the path driving home. So it's not easy. It's scary. There's no GPS. It's just following your instincts and then connecting the feeling eventually with the saying will truly start to help manifest the magic. So are you okay with going into some like average, like I want to
yeah,
not average, I want to the
typical.
typical symptoms or diagnoses that people have come to us and spoken to us about that we've um, experienced in just the day to day of common symptoms that people come to us for.
Mhm.
A big one I would say is thyroid issues. I think there's
Mhm.
a big influx of thyroid, um, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, coming up a lot. Would you say the same in your?
Oh, absolutely, for sure. And whether it's, yes, whether people have been diagnosed or they're going to get tested or it's been mentioned by their, it's becoming more and more of a familiar phrase. Um, absolutely. And thyroid, um,
So
to
in the
me,
book of, you want to look
right?
up thyroid and what it
Ye-
means? All
That's what
right.
I'm getting there. All right.
So according to Louise Hay in the book, the
Mm-hmm.
thyroid represents.
She'll say, and I also like what she says here too, because it says seed goiter, and like you said, hyperthyroidism, hypothyroid. So it gives you other options too,
It goes
to
specific or
specific, yeah. But if we do based on just thyroid, it would be humiliation. Quote, I never get to do what I want to do. When is it going to be my turn? End quote.
and what is the affirmation she recommends to counteract that thought?
I move beyond old limitations and now allow myself to express freely and creatively.
So if you think about the thyroid is, our voice box. It's where we speak from. And in my experience, and I've noticed that thyroid issues are coming up a lot more prevalently with the female population versus the men population. If you think about the thyroid, it is where our larynx lives, where our voice box is, where our communication center of the chakras live. So it is an issue in communicating, whether it's saying something or feeling heard. Um, and if you think about just globally, women in general are often not allowed to speak up as loudly as men. And, the American culture is catching up. But if you think about the other cultures, you know, women's voices aren't always as, I don't know the word, always
Voice.
as accepted or
Yes.
respected as men's voices. So this almost this feeling of feeling left out with your voice, which is where the affirmation, if you mind reading it again, can come in.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. So it is I move beyond old limitations and now allow myself to express freely and creatively.
which goes into the expression, allowing yourself to express freely and creatively. All right. And another big one that we've been facing, especially lately, I would say is migraines. A lot of people coming with intense migraines. I had a client call me the other day and they were having migraines every single morning for 20 years and have seen doctor after doctor, neurologist after neurologist, and no one was able to do anything. And migraines can be super debilitating. Um, so if we go into the thought patterns of migraines, according to Louise Hay, do you want to read that one for us?
Sure. Um, so it would be dislike of being driven, resisting the flow of life, sexual fears, and this is in her parentheses, can usually be relieved by masturbation.
Ooh. Which we'll get into why. And what is the affirmation she recommends for migraines?
For migraines is I relax into the flow of life and let life provide all that I need easily and comfortably. Life is for me.
I love that. Life is for
Is
me.
for me. I like that. Yeah, it's a very, it
Um,
sums it up right there.
which makes sense. So now if we go into why masturbation would relieve the migraine headache, it's the relaxing into the flow. And I'm sure when you're enjoying that, you are just relaxed. You're not worrying about all this stuff. So migraine headaches, as you said, dislike of being driven, resisting the flow of life, sexual fears. Um, it's almost this feeling, the best way to can explain it is looking out to somebody else and saying, I don't know who you want me to be. Just tell me who you want me to be. And not just allowing it to flow and be like, this is who I am and this is who I'm meant to be. And I trust and allow.
What's perfect about you saying that too is because, like we said before, she gives you specific things to go into. So migraine headaches. So if you just go look up what headaches are, it's invalidating the self criticism and fear. And the affirmation is I love and approve of myself. I see myself and what I do with eyes of love. I am safe. So it's instead of looking outward, it is going in.
And if you think about headaches, it is your crown chakra.
Hmm.
It is connecting to that higher source, that higher being, knowing that you are connected to something higher and that you are loved and that you are safe and that you are worthy and that your existence and who you are in this existence, in this human form, has a meaning and a purpose, and it's not to be shut down.
Or validated by anybody else but yourself.
But yourself and your connection through that crown to higher, whatever you believe in, whatever religion, spirituality, I don't care. Just knowing that there's something higher and that you're connecting to the greatness that you were born into this world to connect, because with every breath and with every heartbeat, it's just a reminder that your purpose here on earth is grand.
For me. Wow, that really full circled it. Life is for me. You're right.
Life is for me because you're
Grand.
here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about babies being born, their crown is open. We have to be very careful with their head. Their crown is still open, meaning life is for them. Life source is still flowing in through them. And we're just learning now how to get back to that connection, that pure connection, that opening. And the headaches and the closure and the hair loss and all of these things can start to create. Think about everything that happens around your head. That is your connection. And if everything that covers that baby opening portal when they're born. Because think about it, there's no reason for that to be. There's no safe reason for the baby to have an opening. There's no like evolutionary
Yeah.
reason. You would probably want them to be born with their full head skull so that they're protected when they're, but that's a different story.